welcome back to my channel. Amy here with today's topic. I'm going to apologize in advance first. I've been kind of feeling a little bit crappy, a little bit sick, and it's still not fully gone away. It's been a couple of weeks and I still kind of feel it in my chest and in my nose and everything. So if I'm a little bit nasally, I apologize. If you hear me sniffle again, I apologize, but it's the first day I have had off to do this, so we're going to get a video filmed. So today's video is going to be involving Copic markers, but in specific we're going to be comparing these alcohol brand giants to one of the best dupes I've ever seen. Now when I say dupes, I actually mean knockoffs, like straight knockoffs. Like somebody took this marker, changed as much as they had to make it different, and pretty much made a new brand. Now I understand people have issues with knockoffs. I completely understand, but I was really genuinely curious about this specific brand that I'm going to be showing you guys in a minute, because Copic markers are known for kind of three things that I consider. One, they're super expensive. Two, or I guess four things. Okay, so one, they're super expensive. Two, they have this amazing super brush that everybody strives to copy and have and be like, because it's a miracle of blending. Four, they're refillable and the nibs are replaceable. And five, the color range that they have spans 358 colors. So that's a lot of really great things. The number one contender that people hate is the number one reason I hear people try to do other brands is the price. For us in Canada here, one of these markers generally can be cost up to $8 for one marker for this little thing right here. What? So over the years of collecting them, I've collected them, you know, I've bought them through lots, I've bought them on sales and whatnot. So I don't have the whole collection, but I have, I think it's like 150 something colors or 200 colors, something like that. I don't really 100% know. But I've recently been curious what other brands that are out there, and that's brought me to AliExpress and Amazon, as well as Wish, because I want to see what else is out there. I understand that they're dupes, they're knockoffs, but, you know, these cheaper brands that claim to be the exact same thing, you know, a lot of them come with, like this one, for example. This one looks like a Copic marker, but it's got a fine point nib, so it's definitely not a brush tip option. But I found this brand, and you guys may have heard of this before. I know Bailey J did a video of Copic marker alternatives, and this brand was a part of them. But the ones that she showed were these ones, and these are the ones that are meant to mimic the Chows, but again, they have that bullet tip versus a brush. When I was on AliExpress, I came across this. This is the exact same brand as the Chow version, but these have a brush tip. Now, I was going to do the pick your color option, which I absolutely loved, but I actually found this skin set, so this 36 set of skin tones for $70 inclusive of shipping. That's Canadian. To buy 36 Copic markers, I'm spending almost double that, if not more, depending on where I'm buying it, if I'm not getting it on sale. So, number one, 36 skin tones, all in one set, easy to go. And it's half the price. So, let's take a look. So the markers themselves are a little bit different. They do have, I'm just going to keep a Copic marker here so you guys can kind of compare. So they have a sort of, it's a little tiny bit longer of a marker. The fine color label is exactly where the Copic color is. The actual coating is the exact same. This says alcohol-based ink marker. You have your color number, which is a little bit different than the Copic. A little symbol to show the brush and the chisel tip. I can never think of the name of it. And they both have a gray stripe to show what the brush looks like. The actual lids is where it kind of differs. The Copic is very ovally, it's very smooth, the whole marker, whereas it is oval on the barrel of the fine color markers, but the tips are actually square, or octangular, octagon, is that what it is? If you know what shape that is, let me know. It's definitely more of a square based shape, so you can easily pull off your lid. Now, I don't like black markers. I really dislike them because I find that they get very grungy very quickly. You can see all like the scratches and the wear and tear on them. I prefer a gray marker. But as a quick little mention, you can get these in gray, this specific barrel style, but they are going to be the bullet tip. It's not going to be the brush tip. If you want the brush tip, it has to be the black markers. So keep that in mind. So when I was looking at the brush tips, honestly, I find them super close. Like, I didn't see a huge amount of difference. The fine color is a little bit, and I'm talking about like minusculely longer and a little bit thicker, but not really that different in terms of shape. And the chisel end of both these markers are quite honestly identical. So I didn't see any difference whatsoever in that part of the marker. Now I'm just gonna bring out the other thing I kind of want to mention. So we'll get into how they behave and whatnot in just a minute, but these markers, no other company I've heard of has surpassed Copic color count. These people have. Look at that, look at that, look at that. 480 colors. And please forgive my nails, they need to be done, I know. I was shocked. I could not believe that this company has surpassed how many colors you can get. And yes, I have gone on Wish and I have confirmed I can find all of these markers from various sellers. So it is real. I can't believe it. Obviously a fair bit of them are grays. You have your neutrals, your toners, your yellow, your blue grays, your warm grays, purplish grays, simple gray, I've never actually heard of that, blue gray, green gray, and then your fluorescents. Plus it has a beautiful little color wheel, and like I said, you can see the 3 different markers that they offer. So the 2 that have the bullet tip, and then the one that has the brush tip. So that was quite a amazing little tidbit. I did not realize that when I ordered these, but just like with Copic, it came with this kind of folded in the center somewhere. I think maybe it was stuck to the side. I'm not 100% sure where it was in here. But it's cool because it does actually have a little spot on the back where you can do some swatching. I wouldn't do it because it's very plasticky paper, so I don't think it would show well, but it's neat that it's there. So when I was swatching them, and I'm just going to grab a little scrap of paper because I want us to do a little color test, not test, but like how they behave, and I'm just gonna get a little bit closer. So these markers, the Copics, you can see how they work out. It's mostly the tip that does the work in terms of being a brush tip. The bottom is very stagnant, it doesn't move, but you get a very nice even blend utilizing these. It's a little bit softer than Copic's, but again, the tip is what does the majority of the work, and you get a super nice even blend with both. When I was looking at the texture, Copic does have like a little bit of a paper. You can see the papery texture through the marker, and I didn't notice it as much with the darker colors, but the lighter colors do have the exact same texture that the Copic markers do. So they behave the same and they look the same, but they're still half the price. So the next thing obviously I did was swatch them. So that is what I did next, because whenever I use markers, I like to swatch them out on the paper that I use the most, and in this case it's the for like little drawings like this, I like to use my Recollection paper because it's not super thin Bristol paper, so it doesn't eat up a ton of my ink. And then I do have some drawings I'll show you that I did at the end in my actual sketchbooks. So super pretty colors. They're very nice to look at. They're very good for like mid-tones and pinky tones. There's not a ton in terms of yellowy tones that I could find, especially for dark skin. You know, there's a couple dark skin tones, but I kind of think of these as a complement to my Copic markers at this point. You obviously can buy more and expand and get more colors, but for the 36 range that they have, it's amazing. I actually like the 6 set that you can get with these markers. You can buy these in 6, 12, 24, or 36 for the skin specific set. And I like the 6 that come with the 6 set better than I like the actual Copic skin set. So that's just my personal preference. like the fact that there's so many different types of blushy colors, so I can combine blushes with all types of skin tones. But there was actually something I noticed when I was swatching these. I didn't bother doing the color number because honestly the color number doesn't really make any sense to me. The Copic marker system makes sense, but these don't. To me, it just kind of seems like they threw like a letter just to be like Copics, like the E's, you know, earth tones, and then threw in some numbers. So that part didn't really make a whole lot of sense to me, so I just used the names. And I noticed, you know, Lipstick Natural, Pink Flamingo, these are all Copic color names. Like, these are all exactly the same names. So, because we're super extra around here, I wanted to see how they compared specific color to color. So this is what I did. I'm just going to bring my camera back a little bit, just so I can see my whole page. So I did a sort of brush and chisel comparison because I don't know, I find especially in cheaper markers, the chisel and the brush tips tend to have a different color payout, and even in Copics in some cases. Excuse me. So swatched out all of my Copics for the colors that I had that matched with the Fine Color brand and put them over here. One of the biggest things that I noticed is the Fine Color brand wasn't as pigmented. It was really close, like, I mean, it's just like a shade off, so you could use this Lipstick Natural and this Lipstick Natural and have a nice gradient. But there was definitely some differences. Some of them were almost exactly the same, like the Light Walnut looked very close. The Light Suntan looked super close. The Dark Suntan, I don't know how well it's picking up my camera, but it's definitely a little bit less orange. So it is a little bit of a lighter pigment, and I did find that to be consistent throughout the other colors that I had with the Fine Color bullet tip markers. I did want to kind of swatch out those and see if they compared. So the Strong Red you see is a lot different. The Fine Color is a lot lighter than the Copic color. Some of them were very close, like the Hydrangea Blue is very close. The biggest thing that I kind of like about these is, like I said before, they're a good complement to my Copic colors. And I think like if you had all of the colors, you could easily match these two if you had the next red up in the set. Because like I said, they have 480 colors, so you can easily, you know, have that color matching, but they aren't as pigmented. Now, as to replaceable nibs, they do not offer replaceable nibs, and they do not offer refills for these Fine Color markers. But that being said, and I'm just going to turn this over so you can kind of see, the nibs do come out. That you can take them out, so they can be switched out with the Copic brand ones. I have tried that with one of the markers already, and it's worked out fine. The color paid out right into the Copic marker. And quite honestly, I think the colors that have the exact same names, like the Eggshell or the Pink Flamingo, I could take my Copic colorless ink and easily refill those markers. I don't think it would be an issue at all to do that. But I do think that I think it would be fine. Honestly, I haven't tried it because none of these markers are dry enough for me to try it. But kind of do that at your own discretion. You can definitely switch out, as I said, the nibs. And it's half the price of what a Copic marker is. So for me to see these and pay for these, I feel better paying, you know, $70 for 36 markers versus 100 and something for something that's so similar. So it kind of frustrates me that Copic can't make their price cheaper. I know you're paying a premium on the product, just like when you buy an Apple iPhone, you're paying a premium because of the brand, but it's still super annoying. The one thing is availability, obviously, because these are what they are. They're knockoffs basically of the Copic colors, and I think that it's a little bit harder to find them. That being said, you can get them on Amazon, eBay, Wish, AliExpress. It's just I find when you're dealing with third-party companies, you're kind of not exactly knowing what you're gonna get, so you have to be a little bit more careful in that respect. But I will be buying more. I'm gonna be fully honest and say I will be buying more of these because the price is good, and I'm really curious to see what these markers can do because they behave almost identical to Copics. I do not find them very different at all, other than the fact that they are a little bit less pigmented. But you know, obviously I do notice a bigger difference in the full, like the brighter colors, like honey was a huge difference. But they're still not ugly colors. Like, I mean, they might be trying to stand on their own, or they might be trying to be exactly like Copic's. That part I don't know. But for what they are, I could honestly buy the full set of the fine color markers, and I think I'd be fine. I could buy Copic colorless refills. I can buy, you know, the nib replacers, and it would be great. So that part will be up to you to decide if you think that you wish to buy them. I just wanted to kind of show my opinion on them. Now, I did a couple drawings with them already. This one here, I just wanted to test out the skin, so the only thing done with the fine color markers was the skin, and it blended beautifully. Like, I didn't have to try it at all to get these markers to blend with each other. And I know it looks fairly light in the camera, but there are a lot of deeper shadows when you look at it like in person. But I wanted to go for a very pale skin tone in this one, and they blended beautifully. The lips blended really nice. I used those on there as well. And then I did a full drawing just using the Copic, or see, calling them Copics, just coloring with this set other than the heart. And again, everything blended beautifully. Like, I had no issues getting the blending on the face, the hair, the background. Like, I was able to create nice textures, and these were honestly quite the pleasure to work with. I can't wait to keep using these and buy more, because they behave just like these, and I don't feel as bad using them in my sketchbook because I'm not paying a premium for utilizing them on something cheap. Now, they're alcohol based, they're dye ink, so they're fugitive anyway if you use them on anything that is going to be kind of in the, like a window or something like that. But super nice, and I use those colors on the hair in this one, and again, super easy blending, super nice to work with. I honestly, you know, you can tell I like these markers. I recommend these markers. The only drawback to them is the fact that they are knockoffs, and that they are not as easily attainable as Copics or other brands. But I say go for them. I think that they're worth the price, and I think these are fantastic markers. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I greatly appreciate you guys watching my videos. I always appreciate it as well when you like and subscribe, so if you wanted to do that and check out my Instagram down below, greatly appreciate that as well. So I will talk to you guys next time. I have a couple of videos that I'm in the midst of filming next weekend, and a lot of exciting stuff coming in July, so stay tuned. I will talk to you guys next time. Bye!